Good afternoon, and thanks for attending this demonstration of ATLOS. In this demonstration, we're going to cover a lot of the core functionality that lenders have access to while using our software. My name is Randall, and I'm the product manager at ATLOS. You can send me any of your questions via chat. I'll try to answer them as I go through this demonstration. First thing I want to do is log in, and I want to highlight the flexibility of ATLOS. For that, I'm going to go to our site administration. This is where all the setup and configuration can be managed by an administrator or whatever user has permission to come into this area. You can manage your users. You can manage what we call form data. You can manage your form templates. You can either import or design your own template within our software. You can manage document types of documents that you need to collect. You can create lists for those documents. You can also create document recognition templates that can be used to recognize certain types of documents. I'm going to first go to our form data and open up our web form builder. From here, you can use our builder to manage your existing fields that are already in the system, your mortgage data fields that are already here. You can also add new data fields to your database. I'm going to go here and add a new field, and I want to add a drop-down list to my data set. So we'll go here, select drop-down list, and we'll call it Randall's favorite color. And we'll say this is a required field, and we'll add 3 options for my favorite color. I like red, blue, and green. There's some other configuration settings that you can add to this, but for now we'll keep it simple. We're also going to add a text box, and we'll call this red color code. We'll make this a required field, and in this case we'll put numeric for validation, and we'll leave it as is. So I've added 2 new fields, and I'm going to add it to an existing section. We'll just add it here to mortgage and terms. If you wanted to add a new section, you could easily do that by clicking add new section, just like I added a new field. Sections are simply meant to allow you to organize your data set. All of this data in your database can be managed within what we call sections. So you can group it together and make it easy to find certain data elements. So I've added Randall's favorite color, and I've also added red color code. I'm going to click Save, which will save this web form. If I go here and preview it, you will see my 2 new fields that I added. We've got Randall's favorite color, red, blue, green, and then we've got a text field for color code. There are other things that you can do within this form data section. You can copy data, you can add validation, you can add calculations. We've got some services that you can access. We've got credit and verification services that you can add, and you can also link fields together. I'm gonna go to this link fields section, and I want to link my drop-down that I just created to that red color code field. So let's just call this red color code. And we're going to use the source field, my favorite color that I just created, and we're going to select 1, and the value is going to be red. Target field is going to be red color code, and I want to hide this field, this red color code field, until red is the selection. So I'm going to go back here, and it'll make a lot more sense. When I go back to my preview, now you won't see the red color code field. You'll only see Randall's favorite color, and red color code will only show up if I select red. If I go in and select blue, it won't show up anymore. And this is very applicable for creating a dynamic application where you don't show data unless it's applicable. An example would be purchase. If I select purchase, then I want to know the purchase price. If I select refinance, I don't want to know that. You can go all throughout your data set and think of fields that need to link together and shouldn't show if certain selections are made or not made. So it makes it a more streamlined application. It's easier for your originators and easier for your borrowers to enter the appropriate data that you need to collect. And data collection is where it all starts. You want to collect data, and then you want to take that data and you want to fill your forms. That's one of the things that you can do with the data set. The database that you create, you can use to fill your forms. I'm going to go in and import a form. If you needed to design a form within our software, you could do that too, but for this demonstration, I'm just going to import an existing form. I'm going to import a borrower's authorization. This is a form for the mortgage industry, and I will go here to my sample documents, select borrower's authorization. I'm going to leave it as yes for e-sign because I want to e-sign this document once it's filled, and I will assign it to borrower signature authorization label so that when it's completed, when it's filled and signed, this is where it'll save in my document storage area for my file folder. So I've added this new form. Now I'm going to go in and map my database to it so that every time I go in and add a new loan and add the data that's needed to fill this form, it's very easy to generate this form and send it to the appropriate party for either printing and wet signature or electronic signature in our software. So I'm going to put the borrower's name here. We'll go to borrower's information, and I'll click Add Fields. And now, every time I generate this form, it will fill in the first name, middle name, last name into that field. I'm going to go in and add the address. We'll put in the borrower present address. So we'll put the street in the address field. We'll put the city in the city field. We'll put the state in the state field. And we will put the zip code in the zip code field. I also want to add my new field that I created for Randall's favorite color. So we'll put that here. And I also want to add a new text field to this form to fill in red color code. So let's go and select that. I'm going to add a new text box. You can add a checkbox, you can add a radio button. In this case, we just want to add a text box. I'm going to use Arial as the font, and the size is going to be 10. So I've added a new text box along with my existing text boxes that are already in this form. I'm just going to set it here. I'm going to size it up the best that I can to try to match these existing ones. And now I've got my web form filling with a lot of data from our web form. I also want to add a signature field. So let's go in and add a signature field. You can add signature fields for your users, like your originator or your processor. You can also add signature fields for your third parties, like your borrower. You can have multiple signers signing on the same form. It's up to you on how you structure this. We're just going to put test, signature, and you can also link a date field or IP address field or timestamp field with this signature so that when somebody applies the signature, it will also date the document at the same time. So I'm going to click Save Signature, and then I can go in and drag my new signature field to the appropriate spot. And I'm going to go drag my new date field to the appropriate spot. And I'm going to save my template. So now I've imported and mapped this borrower's authorization template. I could go in and add several other forms and use the same data set to fill those forms. And once you've saved the data for your loan transaction, you can quickly fill and refill those forms over and over again without having to re-input any data for the same information that you've already collected. Now we're going to go to our documents area. These are all the document types that I want the system to create for me. Think of this as your roadmap. As a originator or a processor, you have the responsibility of collecting documentation that supports your application data. And different documentation is required on different loan transactions. You can go in and create this list of documents that you need to collect. And you can also make this documents list dynamic based on data that you enter for the loan transaction. If I wanted to go here and add a new type of document, I could create a standard document that creates on every loan that I start, or I could create a variable document type that's driven by data such as loan purpose. And if it's a purchase, then I need a purchase agreement. That's a type of document that I could go in and add to the system and specify when it gets created. I could have it get created at certain times. I can make it required or not required. I can create OCR templates for it. There are all different types of things that you can do for these labels that you create. And you can also specify the order of these labels. That's very important, especially when you're submitting loans to multiple investors. They may have different requirements as far as the orders of the documents. So you can quickly and easily create this list of documents, and then you can go specify a sort order. I can go create orders for different investors, FHA, VA, depends on what you want to set orders for. If I selected Flagstar Bank, I could have the system reshuffle these document types based on Flagstar Bank's requirements if they have a certain order they want their documents in. And then you can also create categories and groups and other types of tags that you want to apply to these document labels here. The last thing is the document recognition engine. You can go in and create templates, and the system can help you sort documents that come in a single attachment. It can help you to index your documents. If you have, especially if you're an investor that receives a whole loan file, one of the first things you're going to need to do is define the document types within that single attachment. You're going to need to index it. You need to identify all the different types of documents that are in there, and our document recognition engine can automatically do that for you. I've added 5 templates. You can add any types of templates that you want to, and the system can use those templates to recognize different types of documents. So now I'm ready to go start a new loan. Let's go over here to this Add Loan button. You can either import your Fannie Mae data, which will start a new loan, or you can just start a brand new loan from scratch and input the data yourself. Once the data is in our system, you can export it out as XML or XLS, all of the data that is captured within this web form. Here you can see my new field that I added. I'm going to select red. I'll add a color code for it, and you click Save, and now this data is saved. And again, this data can be used to fill a form. This data can be used to drive rules for the types of documents that you need to collect. There are a lot of uses for this data besides simply reference. I'm going to go here to my documents list, and you'll see the system will automatically create my list of documents based on my settings in the admin. You can go here and see the different types of disclosures the system has created. You can see your credit docs. You can go in and see your closing documents. It's up to you on how you structure these groupings of documents based on categories. If I want to go in and upload a document, I can go here and click Add Attachment. You can either upload, you can email or fax documents into the system. Our system's got barcode recognition. If you have a barcode on a document, it can automatically recognize it and index it for you. I'm just going to simply upload a document. So let's go and upload an existing document. Let's go here to Source, Documents. We'll add a 1040, a pay stub, and a W-2. Let's add these guys to my file. I also want to add let's go to my desktop. I want to add a single PDF that contains a bunch of different types of documents, a bunch of different disclosure documents, so that you guys can see how our document recognition engine can go in and recognize and help me sort it out. So now I'm uploading these documents, and I'll click Close. You can also provide your borrowers and other third parties access to this folder and define what they can see, and also allow them to upload documents directly in here. So you could go in and say, well, I want my borrower to upload the pay stub and the W-2. I also want them to see a copy of my credit report that I've gotten here. You can do that. You can go in and share the file with them. You can send them a link, and they'll have access to the documents that you specify they have access to. I'm going to go in and just view the labels, the document types that have attachments with them. Let's go in and open up this PDF that I uploaded called Document Recognition. And you can obviously open and view the document, which is important. A lot of systems simply allow you to store a file attachment and then make you download it to view it in an Adobe Reader or Professional or something like that. Our system, you can open the documents. If you need to make modifications to the document, you can reorder the pages. You can rotate right, left. You can delete a page if you want to. You've got bookmarks you can add. You can also add annotations if you need to block something out and burn this into the image so that you can hide a social or other type of information that you don't want someone to see. You can add highlights. You can add comments directly to the document. And then you can extract pages out of the document and reassign them to some of your existing labels that you've already created. You can manually do this, or you could use our document recognition engine to do it. Our document recognition engine will begin to scan through this single PDF, this 19-page PDF, and try to match up templates with what's contained in this single PDF, and then it'll feed out the results to me. So I can go in and run recognition results. It'll tell me any missed pages. Out of the 19 pages that were here, it'll show me any missed pages. I only set up 5 templates, so it recognized the 5 templates, and then there's some other document types in here that it is showing as missed pages, which I purposefully set up. I'm going to go in and click reassign or assign documents, and then when I close this, you'll see that those documents that it recognized are now itemized. They're sorted as individual documents within my folder. So now when I go in and click on Initial 1003, that's all I'm going to see. That's one of the first things that a processor is going to do, is try to get the file organized so that they can begin to do analysis, and the underwriter can begin to do analysis and make decisions on the types of documents that you're collecting while processing a loan file. So now I've got just this 4-page 1003 application. I can go in and view it. I can do all the things that we just talked about as far as editing and annotating. You can also add a disposition to the document, which is important. A processor may go in and review it, and then an underwriter may go in and mark it as accepted. It's important to be able to disposition what your document, what the status of the document is, so that everybody knows what's going on as they collect these documents. I can go in and jump to another type of document like the W-2 if I need to. Go in and do my analysis on it, mark it with a status. Maybe I'm the underwriter and I can mark this one as accepted, and jump right to the 1040 tax return. Do the same thing. Do my analysis on the taxes and then mark it as reviewed or accepted or whatever status you want to apply to it. All of this is customizable within the administration. When I close this out, you can obviously see the statuses in this grid. If you want to go in and just mark the status from here, you can do that. You can also do a batch status update. If I just wanted to go in and mark them all as accepted, I could go in and do that. Go in and just simply select the ones I want to mark as accepted, and they'll all be dispositioned as accepted. You can go in and save these documents once they're in here. You can send them directly out of our system via email or fax. For this demonstration, I'm going to go in and save the documents to my local workstation. You can reorder them if you need to. If I wanted to go in and specify a new order for Flagstar Bank, Flagstar is the investor, and I want to shuffle these documents around, I can go in and do that, and it'll change the order of these documents. Then I can go in and select the ones that I want to download, and you can choose if you want to compile them all as one document or if you want to download them individually. In this case, I'm just going to compile them all together as a single PDF because my lender wants me to upload all the documents into their system as a single PDF. So once you've done that, it'll download it to whatever destination you've set for your browser. And once it's on your machine, you can upload it to your lender. You'll have it for retention purposes, whatever reasons you would save the documents to your workstation. I can also go in and generate a form within this system. So I go here to generate forms, I'll choose the borrower's authorization that I set up in the admin. We'll click view. Any data that has been mapped to the form that has not been entered, I'll get prompted to enter this information. And just like with documents, you can share a form with your borrower or with a third party, and they can either enter this information and generate the form and sign it, or you can enter the information and then send them a copy of the form and they can just simply sign the filled form. So I'm going to go in and enter the information that's required to fill this form. Everything that I've mapped to the form, I've now entered data for. And once the data is there, you can generate this form over and over again and never have to enter any information for it. If you ever have to do another loan for this borrower, or the same data is needed in other forms, you can leverage that same data set in order to fill all of your forms. And I set a signature field in here for me for this demonstration. I can go in here and I can type a signature. For Ricky, I can go in and draw a signature. Just go in and scribble my name, or I can go in and type my name. So Ricky Hackman, click Save and Continue. And again, the borrower, you can send them a link. They can open up this document. They can fill it out if they need to, and then they can go in and sign it. They can digitally sign it. Document is signed. It automatically dated it for me, and I can go here and save it. Let's just save it to local so we can open it up in a minute and see it. We'll close it, and now you'll see that it adds it to our documents list. Now I've got the borrower's authorization in here too. So as I'm generating these forms and getting them signed or uploading documents in here, you can see that your list, you can see the ones that are accepted and received and ones you still have open. So it's real easy to go in and see what you still have outstanding and what you've collected, what you've gotten signed off on or accepted. You can go in and sort these documents if you want to. I can go in here and see disclosures. You can go in and see my income documents. You can go in and move documents around from one category to another. Let's say I want to go in and move these guys to an income category. I can go in and do that. It's real easy to recategorize your documents, just like you would in any in Outlook or any type of system where you're organizing information. And you can also go in. Another important thing within our system is the activity log. You can go in to our activity log and view everything that has happened. Everything that's happened within this file folder, you'll be able to go in and quickly see, from documents being signed to pages being extracted to statuses being updated. All of this can be viewed within this activity log. Any status changes, documents get deleted, you can go in and view who did it and what time it was done, who performed that action. And also everything in our system is permission driven, so you can go in and define what each person, whether it's a standard user like an originator or a processor or compliance, can do within the software. Every action that I performed is driven by a permission. And you can assign the same types of permissions to your third parties like your borrowers and your real estate agents. So you can define the types of documents they can see, or the types of forms that they're going to receive and fill and sign. Everything is driven by permission within our software. If I go in and open up the document that I've filled and signed, go in and open up this borrower's authorization, you can go in and see that all the signatures in here are valid. We open it up, you'll see signatures are valid. You can go in and see the signature properties if you want to. You'll see that our signature links back to Adobe's root certificate. It's very important. And also you can go in and see all the signature details. Every signature that gets applied within this document, you'll be able to go see the details of that signature. That's also very important. You can go in and see the IP address that it was signed from. You can see the signer that signed it, the email address they received it from. You can see which field was signed. It's a lot of tracking built right into this PDF document once it's signed. That's all very important. Last thing we'll look at is the dashboard. You can go to your dashboard and you can view an overview of what's going on within the system. You can see how many loans, documents, any tasks or comments. You can really cover some of the functionality that's in here, like tasks and events and other activity. But this is all the core functionality that's in our software. We hope you enjoyed this demonstration. For more information, go to www.atlos.com. Thank you.